The Blues lose more ground on their fellow title chasers after a goalless draw at Molineux. Watch until the end of this review to hear all of my thoughts on today's match. Hello people, welcome to my channel, welcome to another video. This is my review of the match that took place earlier on today at Molineux in the Premier League between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Chelsea, which ended in a 0-0 draw. So what I'm going to do for you guys in terms of this review is that firstly, I will be giving you guys the lineup that Thomas Tuchel fielded at the start of the match. I will then be giving you guys my thoughts on the match itself, and as always, I'll be breaking it down into the first half and the second half. And in addition to this, I'll be giving you guys the positives and the positives and the negatives that I took from the match. And lastly, I'll be giving you guys my thoughts on Chelsea's upcoming Carabao Cup 4th round fixture that will be taking place next Wednesday at the Brentford Community Stadium against Brentford, of course, with kickoff at 7:45 p.m. UK time. So without further ado, let's get this review underway. So we kick things off by talking about the lineup that was fielded at the start of the match by Thomas Tuchel, of course. And yes, we are going to begin by talking about the formation that he chose. And yes, it was a 3-4-3/3-4-2-1. And in terms of the personnel he chose to field, he went with Edouard Mendy in goal. The back three was Cesar Azpilicueta in the right centre-back position, Thiago Silva in the centre of the back three, with Antonio Rudiger in the left centre-back position. The midfield four, including the two wing-backs, was Reece James at right wing-back, N'Golo Kante and Trevor Chalobah occupying the two central midfield positions, with Marcos Alonso in the left wing-back position. And the front three was Mason Mount in the right forward position, Christian Pulisic up front, and Hakim Ziyech in the left forward position. So that is the lineup that Thomas Tuchel fielded at the start of today's match against Wolverhampton Wanderers, or Wolves if you like. Let's move on. Now, in terms of my thoughts on the match, and yes, I'm going to begin by talking about the first half. I actually felt as though we made a decent start to the match. We had a glorious opportunity to score in the opening few minutes of the match after a ball was threaded through to Reece James, I think it was. But had the ball gone in the back of the net, I think he would have been offside. In fact, he would have been offside. But after that, I have to say that Wolves made it very hard for us to break them down. We were struggling to keep possession of the ball. They were pressing us very high up the pitch, and they were generating some good chances. And in the 15th minute, they actually had the ball in the back of the net through, I think it was Daniel Pedence, but it was correctly ruled out for offside, as Raul Jimenez was in an offside position and he did try to hit the ball towards goal. So it was the correct decision. But we were very lucky to get away with that because we got cut open in that piece of play by Wolves. And I'll be honest, we struggled to create chances. We struggled to really get in behind them. We struggled to thread balls into our forwards. There wasn't a lot of movement as well as that. And I don't really need to say much else because, in all honesty, it was a poor first half. Overall, not many chances were generated, but Wolves did have the better of it. They were the better side in the first half, and they did actually generate a chance before the interval, but still not a lot was created. And that chance that they created came through Leander Dendoncker. It was a header that came from across from their left-hand side, and Edouard Mendy did make a comfortable save, and a save that he should be making. But yes, overall, not a good performance from us in the first half at all, in my opinion. Very lucky to not go into the interval behind, and we absolutely needed to do a lot better in the final third because it wasn't good enough. And I'll say it again, Wolves were the better side in the first half. But in terms of my thoughts on the second half, again, decent start, started moving the ball about a lot quicker. We got into better positions, but we didn't really test Jose Sarr that often. Christian Pulisic had a glorious chance that he should have taken. N'Golo Kante got into the box on a couple of occasions and was able to get a couple of shots off, but nothing nothing clear cut from us in the second half. Yes, we brought on the likes of Sal Niguez and Mateo Kovacic, which did help the game. Sorry, which did help us swing the game in our favour. Um, in some ways, not always, of course. And I really did think that helped us gain more control in the middle of the park because I felt as though that was part of the reason as to why we were struggling to get into good positions because Wolves did play in a 3-5-2 and we played in a 3-4-3. So they had a numerical advantage in the middle of the park. And in the first half, especially, I felt as though that's um, part of the reason why we were struggling to create chances. But, anyways, we changed the formation when Mateo Kovacic came on and it really helped us. He was doing a lot of work, as was Sal Niguez. And I felt that um, had we had someone up front who can actually hold up the ball and bring others into play, we would have been able to generate more chances because, in my honest opinion, this game was screaming out for Lukaku, but of course he's out with the virus. It just it just wasn't good enough from the players that started. Let me rectify that. It wasn't good enough from our attacking players because I felt as though we did everything right except keep the ball in the final third, which was a massive problem in some of our recent games. And overall, not good enough. We've dropped more points, and in my opinion, we're out of the title race now. But in terms of the positives and the negatives that I've taken from the match, it's unsurprising, or it should be unsurprising, that I've taken no positives from the match. Honestly, it wasn't a good match for us. We should have done a lot better. Yes, I'm going to give Wolverhampton Wanderers credit because they did defend really well. Um, and you can say this because Connor Cody got the Man of the Match award and fair play because he did defend really well. He had a really good game, as did Wolves. Um, they executed their game plan to a T, and we couldn't do anything to throw their game plan out of the window. So it's no surprise that there are no positives that I've taken. And the first negative that I've taken is the fact that we struggled to create chances. Honestly, there was a lack of movement from us in the final third. We we didn't do anything. We didn't do enough to try and throw their game plan out of the window, and we were getting desperate towards the latter stages of the match. Um, that's the first negative. The second negative is that we lacked the killer instinct. Sorry, we lacked the killer instinct when we did manage to get through their defense. I'll say it again because that wasn't um, my best bit of speech there. But yes, we lacked the killer instinct to. Um, oh my days! I'll say it again. We lacked the killer instinct when we did manage to get through their defense, and honestly, this is going to keep biting us in the arse, isn't it? Because we've been punished as a result of us not being able to be clinical when we do get a chance, and that's not Thomas Tuchel's fault. And I have seen some Chelsea fans put some blame on Thomas Tuchel, but what else could he do? What else could he have done? Um, but that's the second negative. And the third and final negative is an obvious one. It's the fact that we've dropped more points when we really needed to win. But um, personally, I'll say it again, that's us out of the title race. I don't see us winning the title this season. Am I being reactionary? I don't really think so because um, to win the title, you need the mentality to win it. You need to be hungry, and these players have not been showing that they're hungry. But that's all I'm going to say. That's it for my thoughts on the match. Do drop your thoughts on today's nil-nil draw against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molyneux in the comment section below, and I will do my very best to respond. We shall move on. Now, to wrap up this review, I am going to give you guys my thoughts on our upcoming Carabao Cup fourth round fixture that will be taking place next Wednesday at the Brentford Community Stadium against Brentford, with kickoff at 7:45 p.m. UK time. Honestly, I think we need to win this one because it will give the players some confidence, and I do not care who is available and who isn't available. There are no excuses. It's a West London derby. I expect the players to turn up and get the job done. Or maybe not get the job done considering how we've been playing, but I expect the players to at least turn up and give it a go because that's the least they can give us, given the given the way in which they've been playing, particularly in the attacking third of recent. But yes, that's all I'm going to say. That is it for this review. I'll see you very soon. Come on, you Blues. Come on, Thomas Tuchel, and peace.